Picture this. The city of Bethany is waking up. It's beautiful. You've got this golden morning sunlight hitting the stone streets, merchants are throwing open their wooden shop doors, kids are laughing and running through these narrow alleys, and travelers are swapping all these vibrant stories. It's alive. But just outside those bustling city gates sits a lonely traveler named Nathan. His clothes are just caked in thick dust, his sandals are torn to shreds, and his face, man, it just carries the heavy, unmistakable weight of total regret. The visual contrast between him and the city is just staggering.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're skipping the usual agenda, and we're just going to jump right into this incredibly powerful narrative. We're talking about faith, the deep, sometimes paralyzing psychology of regret, and honestly, the sheer courage it actually takes to change your life's path. So let's just dive right into the story of the stranger at the city gate.
So, is there still hope for someone who has literally lost everything? To sit with that for a second. I mean, this isn't just the central dilemma for our main character today, right? It's a mirror. It reflects those really quiet, heavy moments of internal doubt that every single one of us faces at some point. Have you ever felt that kind of weight?
Okay, picture this. The city of Bethany is waking up. It's beautiful. You've got this golden morning sunlight hitting the stone streets, merchants are throwing open their wooden shop doors, kids are laughing and running through these narrow alleys, and travelers are swapping all these vibrant stories. It's alive. But just outside those bustling city gates sits a lonely traveler named Nathan. His clothes are just caked in thick dust, his sandals are torn to shreds, and his face, man, it just carries the heavy, unmistakable weight of total regret. The visual contrast between him and the city is just staggering.
Now, Nathan was a complete mystery to the city. Nobody actually knew where he came from, so naturally the townspeople started whispering. You know how it goes. Some people believed he'd lost his entire family to some awful tragedy. Others were murmuring darker rumors, that he was actually once this really wealthy, successful guy who just threw it all away. They whispered that it was sheer pride and selfishness that cost him everything. But Nathan? He never answered them. Every single morning, he just sat there in the dust, watching the world pass him by.
And every day, that's exactly what he did. He sat at those gates watching everyday joy unfold right in front of him. Fathers carrying their kids on their shoulders, mothers smiling as they came back from the busy market, families just eating together. But honestly, watching all of this only made his internal agony so much worse, because everything he once had was just gone. He was entirely isolated, carrying this deep, hollow belief that God had completely forgotten about him.
So, every single night, as the city finally quieted down, Nathan would look up at the stars and he'd whisper, "Is there still hope for someone like me?" It's such a haunting question, isn't it? Just echoing out there in the dark.
But then, we hit the catalyst. Days just bled into days until suddenly, one morning, something highly unusual happened. This really excited crowd started gathering right outside the city gates, exactly where Nathan always sat. The quiet, predictable morning was suddenly just buzzing with this undeniable, electric energy.
People were practically talking over each other, just vibrating with excitement. "A teacher's coming," they kept whispering, and you could literally feel that rumor spreading like wildfire right through the crowd.
And the chatter just kept growing louder, way more rapid. Someone from the back shouted, "They say he heals broken hearts." You can just imagine the anticipation building in the air, right?
And then, they say he welcomes those everyone else rejects. Now just pause and really think about that for a second. Put yourself in Nathan's shoes. Imagine being the outcast, sitting all alone in the dust and overhearing those exact words. A teacher who welcomes the rejected. I mean, the impact of hearing that for a guy who feels totally abandoned, it must have been earth-shattering. Nathan just listened silently. You know, he desperately wanted to believe it. By now, the rumors are at a total fever pitch. They say his words can change a person's life forever. The air was practically vibrating with all this massive anticipation for the arrival of this man Jesus. Every single person felt it. The whole atmosphere had completely shifted from just a normal, ordinary morning to this crazy moment of pure destiny.
And the sheer scale of what was happening was staggering. You've got little kids climbing up onto these rough stone walls just trying to get a better view. Old men are leaning heavily forward on their walking sticks because they absolutely refuse to miss a single second. Women are just abandoning their daily chores, carrying their baskets right toward the road. The entire city is in motion, which, again, makes Nathan's utter stillness by the gate stand out so much more. Because amidst all this chaotic, contagious joy, Nathan is still just frozen in his silent isolation. What if I am beyond forgiveness? That's what's going through his head. That heavy, paralyzing fear is just holding him firmly in place. While the whole crowd is rushing forward filled with hope, Nathan is quite literally chained to the ground by his past.
It's because his heart is fighting a war. And actually, this is a very well-documented psychological struggle, right? It's where the brain's negativity bias just paralyzes us. One voice from his past is screaming, "You have failed way too many times." But then, there's this quiet, fragile little whisper countering it saying, perhaps mercy is waiting on the other side of your next step. It's such a deeply relatable struggle. That brutal tug-of-war between the concrete evidence of our past mistakes and the terrifying, beautiful possibility of future hope.
So the crowd is moving, the dust is settling, and Nathan is still frozen. But then, very slowly, he closed his eyes. He shut out the noise, he shut out the fear, and he took a deep breath. A breath that probably carried years and years of sorrow and desperation. And he stood up. Really think about the sheer magnitude of that physical action. For the first time in years, he didn't just sit there and watch the world pass by. The dusty road stretched out right in front of him, and he actually chose to stand. That one simple movement, that is the absolute climax of this story.
As the crowd slowly moved out to meet Jesus, Nathan, he followed, just from a distance. He stepped onto that dusty road, completely unaware that this one tiny, simple decision was the unseen beginning of an entirely transformed life. A life he never, ever imagined was possible, was suddenly set in motion, all because he decided to stand up and follow.
And that brings us to the real core message of this explainer today. Sometimes the greatest miracle does not begin with a miracle itself. Sometimes it begins with one small step of faith. In psychology, they actually call this behavioral activation. The simple act of physically moving your body forward literally begins to rewire the brain out of despair. We spend so much time waiting for this giant lightning bolt of a miracle to instantly fix our circumstances, when in reality, the miracle is activated by our own willingness to just take one small step forward.
Which leaves us right here. What is the one small step of faith you need to take today? What are those whispers of doubt that are holding you back at your own city gate? I want to challenge you to stand up, step onto the road, and find out what's actually waiting for you. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.